India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
It's the 26th of February, and this is Race to Power on WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. US President Donald Trump will be holding his first cabinet meeting since his return to the White House in just a short while from now. And the first friend will be in attendance. I'm so sure you know who I'm talking about. And the candidates in the race to be Canada's interim Prime Minister faced off on Monday and Tuesday nights in the only two debates before voters head to the polls in 2 weeks. So, how are the Canadian polls shifting following Donald Trump's threats? We'll talk about that shortly. Welcome to the show. US President Donald Trump will be holding his first cabinet meeting since his return to the White House in just a short while from now. There will be an unelected member attending, no prizes for guessing who, alongside members of his new cabinet, will be Trump's so-called first friend, Elon Musk. Musk is no cabinet official, but perhaps no one in the president's circle has wielded more influence in the corridors of power in Trump's early weeks. The Department of Government Efficiency that he heads remains a body without formal recognition. Musk's presence at a cabinet meeting comes amid something of a tug of war between Musk and US government officials over an email asking them to submit work they have done. Many have fallen in line. Many others have refused. It's almost an early test of Trump as well as Musk's authority. More than 20,000 federal workers have already been laid off amid Musk's downsizing push. Some 75,000 have accepted buyouts, and the effort continues to accelerate even amid rumblings and protests. There are other controversial members to be present too. People nominated by Trump to head various departments. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard had espoused conspiracy theories in the past. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. heads Health and Human Services. He was a noted vaccine skeptic. And there's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who has faced allegations of sexual assault. Interestingly, the U.S. Senate has approved all of Trump's cabinet picks so far. An outcry by Democrats over their track records and lack of experience has been struck down. Dissenters within his own party have either quit or been cowed down, all of which is indication enough of Trump's iron grip on the party and his government.
With it right now. Look forward to working with him. Thank you. There'll be an executive order on that right now.
Congratulations.
Morning, everybody. How we doing? It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to serve on behalf of the president, serve on behalf of the country. It's an amazing job. Staff and other members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Standing with him right now. Look forward to working with him. Thank you. There'll be an executive.
Mr. John Potts is a professor of political science at Northeastern University. He's now joining us on the broadcast from Boston. Mr. Potts, thank you for making time for us and welcome to the broadcast. Apart from the White House's first friend who will be in attendance at the White House, what should we look out for in Trump's first cabinet meeting?
I think the part that we will see in public, if it's past practice, would be the beginning part, and I think that will be people, giving cabinet members thanking President Trump for appointing him, and I think there'll be a clear statement about the fact that Elon Musk is working on behalf of the president. I think he wants to make that clear, unless he's going to change his position, but I doubt it at this point.
Mr. Potts, this is the first cabinet meeting that President Trump is holding. It's barely been 2 months, and the president is facing various controversies. There are so many people who are angry with the president in regards to some of the policies that he's making, and they are more angry with Elon Musk, with the Doge department that he heads. Going forward, America is looking at 4 years with Donald Trump. Come what may be, what can change the mindset of Americans, and what can Trump do to change the narrative, so to speak?
Well, it could be a long 4 years if the last 5 weeks are an indication of that, for sure. I think he wants to present a united front with Elon Musk and the cabinet. I don't think he's given up on that yet. I think he continues to move forward with it. So I think he wants to kind of calm the waters from his perspective and say, this is the direction we're going. And he has the support of the people from the election. And Congress isn't doing anything to stop him. So it's really the question of how this is going to play out in the courts as much as anything.
Mr. Potts, very quickly, now that the cabinet members have been okayed by the Senate, some of them, 4 of them to be precise, have controversial pasts. How do you think their mandate is going to fare in the coming months, so to speak, beginning with the Defense Secretary?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of attention to those people. Tulsi Gabbard as well in the internet security area. Robert Kennedy, some of those controversial ones. I think there'll be a lot of focus on that, and I think the media will be focusing on that. So, we will see. I think they're going to try to walk carefully initially here, and even some of them have rubbed up against Elon Musk a little bit over this last weekend. And so, again, I think the president wants to try to smooth that out and make sure it's a united picture.
All right, let's wait and see how the first cabinet meeting under Donald Trump will fare. Thank you very much, Mr. John Potts, for talking to us today.
My pleasure.
US President Donald Trump has passed his first reality check in the House of Representatives, though only just late on Tuesday, the Republican-controlled House advanced Trump's tax cuts and border security agenda. The outcome is a major boost to his 2025 plans and priorities.
217, the nays are 215. Majority voting in the affirmative, the concurrent resolution is adopted. Will now resume. Clerk will report the title.
The vote on passage in the House was 217 against 215. The bill eventually passed almost entirely along party lines. All Democrats voted against it. Only one Republican opposed. The House budgets $2 trillion in spending cuts over the next 10 years to pay for President Trump's agenda. It includes more than $100 billion in new spending on immigration enforcement and the military. The $4.5 trillion tax cut plan would fund deportation of migrants living in the U.S. illegally. It would enable tightening of border security, energy deregulation, and military spending. The vote process had its share of drama in the House. In an unusual series of maneuvers, Speaker Mike Johnson first cancelled voting, apparently because the bill lacked support, before reversing course and bringing the budget up for passage. Johnson and Trump himself had been contacting reluctant members on the need to advance the bill. For the Speaker and others, the result was a relief more than a big win.
A lot of hard work ahead of us, but we are going to deliver the America First agenda. We're going to deliver all of it, not just parts of it, and this was the first step in that process. We're going to celebrate tonight, and we'll roll up our sleeves and get right back at it in the morning. Thank you so much.
The bill now goes to the Senate, where it will be merged with a separate budget, which is under consideration, and even if both chambers ultimately agree on a spending plan, many finer details will need to be negotiated before it can be sent to President Trump's desk to be signed.
Any other country, and now we're unleashing it, to put it nicely.
Leader. President.
In Canada, a big focus of leadership debates within the Liberal Party over the last couple of days has been how the country should respond to US President Donald Trump and his tariff plans. In the second of two televised debates, the big focus has been Canada's response to what many have dubbed an existential threat. Trump's threat of steep tariffs and suggestions of Canada becoming the 51st state has raised a storm.
But let me start by being clear. We will never, ever be part of the United States in any way, shape, or form. We have to recognize that the Donald Trump of today is different than the Donald Trump of several years ago. Then his objective was to take more of our market. Now he wants to take our country.
Trump is posing the gravest challenge our country has faced since the Second World War. He's threatening us with economic warfare. That's not new. Last time, he threatened to rip up NAFTA, and he imposed tariffs on our steel and aluminum. I fought back, and I won. This time, Trump's threats are even worse. He wants to make us the 51st state. Trump is unleashed and empowered. As your prime minister, I will be too.
All four candidates have affirmed their commitment to continuing Canada's support for Ukraine. All of them also backed the need for Canada to hit its 2% military spending target as set out in its commitment to the NATO alliance, though they disagreed on the timeline and how to get there.
My very first move is to call a meeting with the Council of the Federation and bring the premiers together to make sure that we share our plan for Canada, because this is every single province and territory, every business leader in our country, every union leader, every single Canadian, and then to share the plan with the entire country, because Canadians deserve to know what we are doing.
Let's take a look at the candidates vying for the top job. Mark Carney is a former banker and economist. He has held top posts at Bank of Canada and Bank of England for 12 years in all. Chrystia Freeland is former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Canada. Freeland was Trudeau's number 2 until her shock resignation in December last year. Karine Gould, formerly the House leader, is the youngest candidate in the race. She has positioned herself as the candidate for today and the future, and there is businessman Frank Baylis. The 62-year-old has pitched himself as the man most capable of taking on Donald Trump, given his own business background and experience in negotiating contracts with Americans. Card-holding Liberals will now vote on the 9th of March. Whoever wins will become Canada's next Prime Minister and will lead the Liberals in the forthcoming general election, which must be held on or before the 20th of October this year. Germany's conservative leader Friedrich Merz, who came out on top in the snap election results, is aiming to close a coalition agreement with outgoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz's SPD that came third in the elections. The verdict delivered by Germans on the 23rd of December leaves Friedrich Merz with little room for negotiations. I'm sorry for that. Let me just take that again. The verdict delivered by Germans on the 23rd of February, not December, leaves Friedrich Merz with little room for negotiations. Let's talk about the number game in the Bundestag. Germany voted to elect 630 lawmakers to parliament. The Merz-led CDU has secured 208 seats. The far-right AfD came second at 152 seats. Olaf Scholz-led SPD managed to secure only 120 seats, while the Greens managed to win 85. To cross the magic number, Merz needs 315 seats. Additional 108 seats can be managed by a coalition with either AfD that Merz has already refused. That leaves him with only one option, that is Olaf Scholz-led SPD.
You know that I am also prepared to take on this leadership responsibility in the government as federal chancellor. But all this requires a well-negotiated coalition agreement with the SPD. I am still assuming that we can negotiate a good coalition agreement with the Social Democrats, and that we can do this within a reasonable period of time so that we really do have a government with a majority in the German parliament by Easter.
Things are moving forward in CDU-SPD alliance. The parliamentary group of SPD met ahead of the coalition talks as the party looks to collect itself in preparation for a potential new role as a junior partner in a conservative-led government.
Friedrich Merz and I have agreed that once the positions in the parliamentary groups are clear, we will talk soon and also agree on a timetable for talks. For me, it is now a matter of developing a common understanding of the scale of the task that lies ahead of us. I want to tell you from my side that these are major tasks that we have to clarify in the talks. It is about ensuring that Germany remains a strong country.
South Korea's Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial is over, and now he awaits verdict on his presidency from the country's constitutional court. On the final day of the hearing, Yoon Suk-yeol apologized for his martial law order, but he also mentioned that the decision was taken because the country was facing an existential crisis.
External forces, including North Korea, along with anti-state elements within our society, are working together to seriously threaten our national security and sovereignty.
Let's now take a look back at how South Korea's political crisis unfolded. Yoon Suk-yeol declared martial law on the 3rd of December 2024. Although it lasted for only 6 hours, it shook the South Korean system to its core. On December 7, 2024, South Korea's National Assembly assembled to impeach Yoon Suk-yeol, but it failed as there was no quorum. The assembly gathered again on December 14th, and this time they impeached Yoon Suk-yeol. The Constitutional Court began its trial on January 14th this year, but Yoon Suk-yeol failed to appear in court. The trial continued, and the president reached the court for the first time on January 21st. Former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun appeared before the court on 23rd of January. The court held its fifth hearing on the 4th of February. At 9 hearings and hours of deliberations, the Constitutional Court held its 10th and last hearing on the 25th of February this year, when Yoon Suk-yeol delivered his final remarks before the court. Now, the court is expected to deliver its verdict next month. If Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment is upheld, then fresh elections will be called within 60 days. If the court overturns the impeachment, Yoon Suk-yeol will take over his duty as president again and will continue till 2027, when his first 5-year term ends. Is Shashi Tharoor, India's Congress Party veteran, eyeing an exit from the party? Tharoor, who is a 4-time Congress Member of Parliament, says he has options. A string of run-ins he's had with the Congress Party brass, combined with a somewhat startling selfie he posted on social media, has set the cat among the pigeons. Tharoor shared this photo on Tuesday. He's seen beaming alongside Union Minister and senior BJP leader Piyush Goyal, fueling big rumours on his political future. The picture also features British Secretary of State for Trade Jonathan Reynolds. After discussions on the India-UK trade deal, Tharoor captions it, saying revival of stalled FTA discussions is most welcome. Tharoor has spoken of non-political options in the past, but political watchers say the more likely tilt is a choice to remain politically active and relevant. When it comes to a possibility of switching parties, the left front in his home state Kerala has sent out feelers. The BJP has long been trying to make inroads in Kerala, and Tharoor could be of help in this effort. Senior journalists have also raised chances of the congressman floating his own political outfit as he pursues chief ministerial ambitions in Kerala. There are multiple reports of Tharoor's rift with the Congress leadership being out in the open. The party struggles to place him either in New Delhi or in Kerala, and he is a constant thorn in the high command side. He has proved something of a misfit. Tharoor has frequently broken away from the party lines, especially in praising Prime Minister Modi or Jaishankar. Tharoor has strong ties with a group of 23 dissenters in the party. He contested the Congress president's post against the Nehru-Gandhi family's favoured candidate, Mallikarjun Kharge. In Kerala too, the Congress already has multiple contenders when it comes to the party leadership in the state. Also, he remains seen as an outsider who has not climbed the ranks. His foreign education and high society aura end up leaving him struggling for solid ground support. Tharoor himself had said he had ideological differences with the BJP. He has called himself a classic liberal who believes in social justice alongside economic growth. Multiple factors say his time with the Congress is up. Where is he headed next? It's a multi-million-dollar question. Ever since his loss in the Delhi Assembly elections, the political future of Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal has been the topic of much speculation. In the latest, reports suggest that the AAP chief could be looking for an entry in India's upper house of parliament by becoming a member of the Rajya Sabha. The talk has been triggered by the Aam Aadmi Party's decision to field its Rajya Sabha member of parliament, Sanjeev Arora, in the by-election to the Ludhiana West seat in the state of Punjab. The seat had fallen vacant last month after the death of incumbent AAP MLA Gurpreet Gogi in an accidental firing while reportedly cleaning his pistol. Arora was elected to the Rajya Sabha in 2022 from Punjab. His tenure is set to end in 2028. The reports state that in case he wins the by-poll, he could be made a minister in the Bhagwant Mann government as a reward, giving up his Rajya Sabha seat. The AAP party, however, has denied any such move.
Arvind Kejriwal is not going to Rajya Sabha. As far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, media sources were earlier saying that he will become the Chief Minister of Punjab. Now, media sources are saying that he will contest from Rajya Sabha. Both these sources are absolutely wrong.
Earlier, media reports had suggested that Kejriwal could become the Chief Minister of Punjab, while the current Punjab Chief Minister, Bhagwant Mann, dismissed their suggestions. The BJP has criticised the reports of a potential Kejriwal entry into parliament.
Punjab government runs through remote control. So, I would like to ask the people Punjab, do you want Arvind Kejriwal, who runs the state government through remote control, as an MP from Punjab?
Since losing the Delhi Assembly seat, Kejriwal has had to vacate his government bungalow in the national capital, while his party colleague Atishi has become the leader of the opposition in the assembly. And that's the latest on this edition of Race to Power on WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. Thank you for watching.
Pakistan's long wait to host a global cricket event is finally over.
I assure every cricket fan and supporter that Pakistan is ready for the Champions Trophy.
For the first time in almost 3 decades, an ICC event is being held in the country. India's refusal to travel to Pakistan adds an extra edge to the already fierce rivalry. Catch all the drama, action and controversy from both on and off the pitch, only on WION.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
In a show of jostling for power, a new Sudan coalition including political parties, armed movements, civil society leaders and the rapid support forces signed a founding charter aimed at establishing a parallel peace and unity government. This weeks after the Sudanese army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan announced he will form his own technocratic government. Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye appears in court in the East African nation's capital, Kampala, amidst concerns over his health following his hunger strike in protest over his detention. Besigye is facing the death penalty on treason charges. And Burkina Faso's military leader Ibrahim Traoré and the president of Chad, Mahamat Deby, officiate the opening of the 29th edition of the Pan-African Film and Television Festival of Ouagadougou, FESPACO. Watch World of Africa at these times on WION. World is One.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
WION, India's global voice. The channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is WION World is One. We are glad you're watching. Time now for Fine Print. Our headlines. Moscow says there will be no cessation of hostilities in Ukraine along the contact line as the Russian foreign minister asserts that it opposes the deployment of peacekeepers. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer calls for lasting peace in Ukraine. This ahead of his meeting with US President Donald Trump in Washington on Thursday. Hamas will hand over the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages tomorrow in what it says will be an exchange for more than 600 Palestinian prisoners, capping the first phase of a Gaza ceasefire deal. Reports suggest a critically ill Pope Francis battling pneumonia in both lungs is up and out after spending a peaceful night. Prayers pour in for the 88-year-old pontiff. Wall Street bounces back after losing streak with major indices opening higher as investors eye Nvidia's earnings for AI demand signals and track a key tax cut proposal in Congress. Felix Auger Aliassime comes from a set-down to beat Nuno Borges in the second round of Dubai Tennis Championship. The world number 21 will take on 2014 US Open champion Marin Cilic.
And cette match, Aliassime by 2 sets to 1.
Israel has been unleashing its fury on Gaza in its quest to avenge the October 7th, 2023 terror attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to eliminate Hamas from the face of the earth. Our next report explores how, after 508 days, Gaza is still in ruins, but Hamas is still a force to reckon with.
Hamas has not only survived 15 months of war with Israel, but as seen in these images of armed with deadly assault rifles during the handover of hostages, they are standing tall. Hamas remains a deadly guerrilla force. It is still in de facto control of large swaths of the Gaza Strip. Armed men in military fatigues and wearing Hamas green headbands present a concerning sight for Israel that claims to have severely weakened the group.